Hi, it's Naomi Endrake, your math facilitator, and I wanted to go over a few solving equations problems. So this is one variable equations. These are one-step equations, which means that we really only have to do one thing. We have to divide or add or subtract on both sides of the equation. And all the examples I'll do here are dividing. So here I have an equation. It's negative 5x equals negative 45. And I really have a couple of options. Now, one option is to just kind of see what fits in there and makes it true. Like negative 5 times what equals negative 45. And I can go ahead and tell you, I know the answer is going to be 9 because I know 5 times 9 is 45, and that negative just kind of hangs out in front. So I know the x will be 9, but we also want to get in the practice of doing things to both sides of the equations, because when we get more complicated equations, that's what we're going to have to do. So here, since I want to get rid of this negative 5 and just have x left, because I'm solving for x, I would divide both sides by negative 5. So let's see. Divide both sides by negative 5. Over on the left side, negative 5 divided by itself is just going to be 1. That's why those cancel away. So we know anything divided by itself is 1. So in this case, negative 5 divided by itself is 1. And that was the whole point of dividing by negative 5, was to get rid of that negative 5. So I just have x left. And then over on the right side, I have negative 45 divided by 5. And the way I do these, I look at the number part and then I look at the sign part. So the number part, 45 divided by 5 is 9. And then the sign part, a negative divided by a negative is positive. Always. So negative divided by negative is always positive. I end up with x equals positive 9. And this is just the solution to this equation. And that's all there is to that one. Okay, so here's the second one. We have 3y equals negative 27. So it works exactly the same way. We want to get rid of that 3 so that we'll have just y by itself equal to some number. So I start by dividing both sides by 3. Of course, those 3's cancel. 3 divided by 3 is just 1. That was the point of dividing by 3. And then I have y equal to whatever negative 27 divided by 3 is. Now here, I know, again, I'm going to look at my number part, and then I'm going to look at the sign part. So the number part is 27 divided by 3. That's just 9. And then the sign part is a negative divided by a positive, or just, you can just think of that negative as staying in front. And so we will end up with y equals negative 9 as our solution to this equation. So again, if I put that back into here, I'd have 3 times negative 9 equals negative 27. That's true. So I'm looking for the value that's going to make this equation true. Okay, here's a third one. 3 equals negative 6z. It's the third problem. Negative 6z equals 27. So here, it works exactly the same way, only I might end up with a fraction instead of a whole number, because 6 doesn't go into 27. But I'm going to work it exactly the same way. So I start by dividing both sides by negative 6. Those 6's or negative 6's are going to cancel. Anything divided by itself is 1, so they go away. I'll just have 1z. And then over on the right side, I have a fraction. I can't actually divide 27 by negative 6. So what I would do to simplify that fraction is I divide the top and the bottom of the fraction by any number that goes into both of them. So if I look at the smaller number 6, the only numbers that will divide into that are 1, 2, 3, and 6. So I'm not really going to look at 1 or 6, because I know 6 doesn't go into here, and 1 is, not going to get me anywhere. But I'd like to know, does 2 also go into 27? Does 3 also go into 27? So I'm asking myself, what number goes into both 27 and 6? And the number that goes into both of them is 3. So 3 goes into 6 2 times. 3 goes into 27 9 times. So I just divide both the top and bottom of that fraction by 3. On top I'd have a 9, on the bottom I'd have a 2. And I also have this one little negative, which I'd go ahead and put out front. You can think of it as positive divided by negative is negative, or you can just think, well, I need 2 negatives for them to cancel. But anyway, so we would end up with z equal this fraction, not negative 9 over 2. And that would be the solution to this equation. If I substitute it back in, I would get something that's true. I'd end up with 27 equals 27. Okay, that's all. I hope this helps. Bye.